Hello everyone, I'm Point and Click Gaming, and today I'm going to be showing off some replays against some champion level players. We'll get into it. So one of these champions you'll recognize, because we play them quite often, but they were quite recently crowned champion, so it's quite interesting. Sleepy gave up that title from, I think, 6th to 7th. Neo kind of stopped grinding after he reached, the champion tag. It's kind of a rotating thing. We have new champions, right? The Jumping Jawa grinded all the way to top one. Trazenel was ahead of Girth, so Girth is now third. I don't know who's fourth. I mean, IC Dot and Asterion are pretty high up there. It could be Curly Head is fourth or eighth or something. But yeah. Meanwhile, me on my tiny little island, I am stuck at 16th place, 1918. I have been grinding a little bit, but I've been knocked down to 1902 twice. 1901 is top 17, so that's why 1902 is such a significant number. Anyway, let's take a look at our first champion replay match. So, um, yeah. So our champion is actually Mike Free. So this is one of his first games where I fought against him as where he was a champion, right? My win rate is effectively 20% against him. I think it's dropped to 15 to 12% because he's absorbed a lot of tactics from Sleepy, from Assassin, just improved his algorithm. So it's a very interesting starting position because I notice he isn't generating funds very quickly. So I notice some of his cities are open, and I am able to snipe. I'm not able to hold it, but I'm able to snipe. Um, I think moving in these tanks are way too hasty. I do get an encirclement, but I don't think it's going to hold out for long, so he does escape that, and it's not going to hold. He's not even going to lose that many funds, to be honest with you, so there's not even attrition damage, so it's kind of slightly unfortunate just because he has all his units on city and it generated funds so quickly. So I basically just lost a unit in exchange for nothing. Well, I mean, I did gain funds, I guess. So I'm increasing funds slightly quicker than he is because I'm down a unit. Um, but that deficit is going to equalize. So I send a unit to scout. I am down 20,000. Obviously, one from the city and one from the thing. And this um, against high level players is kind of hard to say. So he moves his tanks to another position, and it's basically just going to be a grind session. I don't have my confidence in my micro is much less than my confidence in Mike Free at beating me. So I'm just going to take it passively and hopefully I can outgrind him, which is kind of a tall order. I do get one light unit with these tanks, but these tanks are no longer at full health, which is kind of scary. So yeah, he cycles quite nicely, and we're just going to see who could cycle better. And my bets are on Mike Free, to be honest with you. I retreat to the city, which means this unit is no longer healing. It's not even properly garrisoned. So yeah, I think my peak is going to be top 20, but top 10 is, you forget about it. I don't think I'm at that level. So I retreat the tank back to the city. It's no longer healing. I'm going to get outcycled, so I'm going to try and see if I can make something happen in the north. I do get a tank, but I think it costs me a lot. Um, and already I'm behind by 50,000. I don't know where this 50,000 is. But it's pretty bad. Like down 50,000, and I have given up a lot of space. I don't know. I think he just outgrinded me, and I really can't say much more than that. Like, I mean, blue is a slightly better cycle path, I'm not gonna lie, because red has to rotate through all this junk. I think there was one grind session, one of the maps on this where I realized that blue such a nice reinforced pattern. But yeah, Mike Free took the north, which I think is one of the least used aspects. Almost everyone grinds in the south here, and he is. But Mike Free's strength is he's able to micro multiple places at once. Um, but yeah, I think at the high level you need to know how to micro and maneuver units really, really well. That's kind of the peak, and then I pretty much just give up the cities. So one of my first matches against the newly crowned champion Mike Free. Earlier though, I've faced him before. He's blue and I'm red, so I'm at a positional disadvantage just because blue cities are relatively concentrated. Almost always you pull blue's units to the side. Sleepy actually coined a very unique technique as red. He says he's never lost on this map as either red or blue. What he usually does is he slowly, steadily pushes capital and then he leaves a ship, which is very interesting because it prevents any sort of naval invasion shenanigans. Obviously, as red, I almost always pull this northern unit. I think that's just my tactic, in my opinion. I go for the capital, which is not going to happen, but it's an interesting push. I just want to threaten it. And so he eventually does pull it to the side. But this unit is very weak, so I kind of don't. He's not even microing properly. He finally notices my ship coming in. I was actually considering whether do I keep it in ship form or not to attack the unit, but it's hard to say. I drag all my units to the water. I basically leave my entire flank exposed. It's a little bit dangerous. I'm playing fast and loose. If Mike Free rushes the city, I'm kind of done for. Um, so yeah, he finally engages. It's four tanks on two, but I have like an armada of ships right now. So I'm just gonna send all these north. I'm gonna put two tanks because I am facing against the legendary Mike Free. He's got very good micro. I'm going to send my ships to see if we can find some sort of encirclement. If he kept going, he could have gotten a couple cities. It's hard to say, but I definitely think he could have gotten cities. I need to go for this northern encirclement, but I'm kind of just focusing fire his capital right now. Um, I get one of my units encircled just because I sent ships, so I'm trying to go for this encirclement. This unit that never got turned into a ship actually does find an encirclement, and meanwhile I'm just messing stuff up in the north here. I do find an encirclement of two light units. I find this giant encirclement here because I have a unit in the water, so it's a nice tank encirclement. Um, I find, I think, a second encirclement. Yeah, I do. No, it's just one large encirclement. Okay, that's interesting. One light unit for the cost of 7 units encircled, I think is quite a worthwhile proposition. I just need to make sure I don't lose any of my cities, and it'll be nice. He does unencircle, so, I mean, Mike Free's macro is immaculate. He always does a lot of zoom-ins to thing. I almost never zoom in. I just think I need to focus on the larger picture, which I think may be one of my weaknesses. I'd probably need to zoom in more to micro slightly better. Um, but yeah, this large encirclement is basically what helps propel me to an advantage. I'm up 10,000, and hopefully I can continue to expand that lead. I just need to make sure to protect my cities. I have this tank in the water that I need to kind of protect. But as long as I hold out, I think I'm good, right? I'll be ahead. So I basically killed his entire tank force in the south, and I hold my own tank. So I leave a tank on the city here, and I'm just going to go for encirclements. This tank is dead, unfortunately. But I do kill a lot of his units, so I'm up 60,000. Let's see what shenanigans Mike Free can kind of pull off against this sort of thing. I think he's gonna get my units encircled, and of course he is, because it's Mike Free. Oh no, I do barely escape that gauntlet, but I am fully very aware that encirclements are very easily coming. Um, Yeah, so I just need to make sure my cities in the back are weak. I just need to make sure I just kill as many units as I can. Oh, there's an encirclement there. I do get my units encircled, so he does counter encircle me, which is kind of rough. I basically ignore the entire south. I'm just going to focus on the north. I just want his capital, which I think may be a little bit of a positional mistake. Maybe I should push my lead. But yeah, I maintain a troop advantage on him, 30,000. I'm gonna fight it out. I noticed he has some ships in the water, so I thought I was gonna turn this into a ship. But yeah, I'm basically going for the capital. I just said I'm not gonna manage microing the south. I'm just gonna give it to him, and I'm just gonna try and take his capital, which is an interesting gamble. But I am up troops, so I can't afford to do it. But yeah, he is a very healthy unit on that capital, so it may not be the smartest move. So yeah, I get a lot of units encircled here. I'm trying to rescue it. As I said before, his micro speed's a lot faster than me, so I'm gonna try and kill units in the north and continue to push my advantage. And I push it into a position that Assassin versus Mike Free had, which is a capital swap. Very rare, but it does happen from time to time. I think very rare. I've only seen 3 games where there's a capital swap, and I think both of them were with Assassin versus Mike Free on tournament maps. So I'm going to find an encirclement in the north. I just need to kill off units. I need a unit advantage. I have 2 tanks here just doing anything. I push my tank. This is a little bit risky because if Mike Free's paying attention, he could basically encircle this tank or go for the city backline. But I'm kind of keeping him occupied up here in the north. I'm just trying to push his capital. Um, as I said, I think if he defended better, if he used his units better, I think he definitely could. He would have pulled off this game. It's his to win basically. I mean, I have units in the water. He has an extra city over me, so I need a city and I need a city quickly. So it's the question of can I take the capital? If he can defend the capital, then I think the game is his. But since I got his capital, I even have a tank on it. He's not getting his capital back. So every single unit he loses is a unit he cannot recover. So at this point, I need to make sure I know I'm close to losing my capital. So I need to keep as many units alive as I can, because this is now effectively a capital swap. I need as many troops as I can, and I need to generate as much funds as I can before the timer runs out. If I build a tank, I'm screwed, but I can build 2 light units. I have effectively stopped Mike Free from building a light unit, so I am up another 20,000, although I'm going to lose a lot of units here in the south. The smartest thing I did was to protect this tank. I could abandon my capital, but protecting this tank is so valuable because it means he won't be able to push these two cities and it prevents any sort of naval invasion shenanigans. So now I just need to push this advantage and I need to keep my units alive. I need to kill as many units as I can. So I'm up 40,000, but he's a lot of light units. Most of my troop count is locked in tanks, and these two tanks is 40,000. So we're effectively equal. I mean, I'm going to be able to build two more light units, an extra one, so we're going to be fighting with 100,000, although Mike Free just has to manage it. If he goes full empty city, then it's interesting. But I just need to make sure I don't lose as much units as he does. So yeah, he's going to try and overwhelm me in terms of unit count. I just need to make sure I keep my units healthy. There's no point. There's no need to sacrifice units. I do want to get a city. The thing with capital swaps is cities can count as defensive towers because they exert zone of control. So if your opponent controls too many cities, even though you hold the capital, I think there was a match against Sirius Black where we did a capital swap. Oh, that was the third one. Like the troop count is going to be more important. So I do get one city. I think that helps me get an encirclement. So it is pretty nice like that. I do kill one light unit, which I'm really happy with, but I think I'm going to go in the water, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I've killed two light units and I'm ahead, almost double his troop. Oh, my tank goes in the water because I'm too busy trying to manage this. I need to keep my tanks alive because these tanks are going to act as pushers. That's the second light unit dead. I do retreat the tank out by ship, and I might lose a light unit, which I really don't want to lose any light units against Mike Free because this guy's one pretty strong on micro. I wouldn't say king of micro. I want to use superlatives, but it's not accurate. So he turns this into a ship, which I think is interesting. The problem is if he attacks me, we're both going to die equally. He can, though. I think he probably should. I'm attacking stupidly with this light unit. This light unit is basically to make sure if I can expose any cities and to muster a defense. But yeah, these two tanks are the equivalent of a quarter of his troops. So these two cities are effectively just protected. Unless you could sort of heal. Especially with this, I have 50,000 in the south. So I have 90,000 up here, and I have 50,000 down here not doing anything. More like 45,000. So I just need to make sure all my units are healed, and Mike Free just needs to kill as many light units as possible. At this point, it's pretty much over unless Mike Free can pull off some sort of miracle, and I just need to make sure I kill off units. Actually, no, there is one possibility, which is that he takes his capital back. I'm about to lose 20,000. It's going to hurt a lot if I lose this unit. So I either need to kill a light, which is an option. I could go for the city. It's another option. I realize I don't have the health for it, so I'm just going to turn it into a ship and hope Mike Free just lets me leave. He's going to attack it, but then I think he's going to realize he just doesn't have the health to attack this tank. So Mike Free commits a small mistake. I'm going for a minor encirclement here, so it's a bit risky. So he does let my ship leave. I'm threatening some sort of encirclement, and so he stops attacking this tank. And I think he just can't afford to go in the water is the thing. That's actually why he retreats, because he realizes two light units are more important than a tank. Even though this in the long run, this is going to heal, and this ship is also dying as well. So there's no point in attacking. So he starts attacking, but he realizes this ship is going to die before my tank dies. So he kind of lets it go. I find two light units. I almost get my tank killed, though. I almost lose his capital, which is kind of risky. And I realize I need to protect his capital as hard as I can. He has no funds left, so basically I just need to push an advantage. Every single second I heal is a win for me. And this game's pretty much over. And I have two units here not really healing on the city. They're kind of just off the city. I need to work on this garrison micro. I guess we could speed it up a little bit. So finally put it on city, I get some breathing room, and I just need to kill off his units. Mike Free's pretty stubborn. He'll fight to the last man. I've kind of lost my tenacity and edge. So yeah, Mike Free is pretty strong. This is one of my earlier games when he wasn't a champion. So I guess this wouldn't be considered a real game. But I thought it'd be fun to show off. But yeah, I don't think I've only beaten one champion so far, and Mike Free is not one of them. This is before he was. So yeah, the question is, can I take the capital back? And I think I'd rather, if I play this steadily, I think it's my game to win. So I just don't want to risk anything. I have two tanks here, so he's finally going to accumulate, but I don't think he has enough funds to push. I'm basically just going to heal. I have a total domination in terms of troop count over him. I just make sure he doesn't grab any cities or attrition me. That is actually another possibility. So I'm just going to kill as many units as possible. I notice this tank is kind of weak, so I just want to kill it off. I'm even going to go for the city as well. I think it's worth it. just gives me a position. I just need to make sure to not get myself encircled. So I leave a couple light units there. I do get one kill. I get myself encircled, which is very scary. I lose an entire light unit in that push, which just sucks. But I just need to make sure I don't lose any more. I need to find some encirclements. I get myself encircled again. Um, Thankfully, not with any major repercussions. He could have very easily turned the tides of battle there. I did kill off a tank, so I'm quite happy with that. I need to escape these light units. They're on their way to freedom. So yeah, very scary here. A lot of full health units, so I am double his troop count now, and I'm going to be pushing. And eventually, I do catch a tank off guard in his zealousness of pursuit. And we're just going to kill off as many lights as we can. So there's one light unit there, and hopefully I can get a second light unit. I'm even willing to trade down like in chess. You just trade your pieces. I even have a tank coming in, 2 encirclements, and I have a total unit count. But I mean, I do leave the capital a little bit exposed. I'm pulling back to just make sure nothing weird happens. I don't want my backline surrounded. I don't want to lose his capital. I'm just going to slowly and methodically push forward. He's going to go for a naval invasion. He's just not going to find anything out there in the ocean. And I'm just slowly going to push. I leave an entire tank here. I mean, he leaves my capital exposed, but at this point, I'm just going to play as steadily as I can. I don't have any light units. I don't have any naval invasion, and I'm not going to go for anything risky. So I'm just going to go one by one, start and dismantle his cities. Definitely possibilities of encirclement, but he has too little troops to actually do anything with it. And at this point, it's pretty much game over. He just doesn't have the troop count to do anything at all. I send a naval ship maybe just to attack his light unit. I mean, I gain the city, and I'm squeezing his positions that he can actually go. I almost even get the second city as well, but no. So I'm considering whether to kill the light unit, um, make sure I don't get myself encircled by losing a city. And he's going to push the capital, but I think that tank is going to just hold just fine. Even if he does tank the capital, I think it's a little bit too late at this point, and I think he just surrenders because there's nothing more to be done. He just has no units on the board. So yeah, I did beat Mike Free, but this was before he was a champion. And finally, I'm going to showcase a hidden champion. So a lot of people have seen this guy, and they don't actually know the story of how he got his champion tag. So this guy is probably the first champion. Really nice. He got in at the very beginning of the game, so he's kind of seen everything. He's very familiar with the game, and he still plays to this day, right? Uh, this is Arthemi. So a lot of people are actually curious how there's a couple guys out there who have the champion tag that most people on ladder don't recognize. That's because a lot of the newer champions have kind of climbed up through the ranks. Arthemi is one of the first to wear the champion tag, so I think that deserves praise in and of itself. It's very interesting because this map in particular favors blue. Blue is just a better cycle path because red is consistently cycled through these bridges, and yeah, just blue is a much nicer cycle path down here. I instantly push tanks down south. He's going to try and go for an encirclement. I just need to prevent that from happening, and I counter encircle him, thankfully. I don't counter encircle him, but I do exert pressure. I'm about to lose a light unit, but hopefully I can get a light unit in return. So I am down already at the beginning. I do that in exchange for space to send troops down south here. I think there's another game like this, but I completely lose just as red. They kicked me down to 1904. But yeah, maybe I'll showcase that in a little bit, and I'll showcase Conceal. The problem is that game wasn't complete. That's why I'm a little bit hesitant. But yeah, so I'm gonna push down south. I'm gonna kill a light unit. But he already killed my light unit, so um, I'm a little bit down right now. Oh, actually, I'm still ahead in terms of troops. I guess it's higher morale because he's attacking me. I'm not attacking him. I'm on the defensive. Hopefully, I could get a tank in return. So maybe just not managing troops super properly. I need to retreat these 3 units. They don't need to be attacking. Of course, I throw it into the meat grinder because I'm betting I can maybe kill this tank. I guess that's kind of the reason why I have those troops there. And do I get it? I do get it. Okay, so instantly I do have a troop count advantage. I need to pull these units back. I need to keep this tank alive, which I do. And yeah, now I start my pullback. I'm going to push my advantage in the north, and I'm already up 10,000 just because of morale. I come super close to killing off a light unit. I just don't want to engage this fully healthy tank because I know it's coming. So yeah, I have a lot of lights down here, but they're not fighting with morale, so I completely retreat it. And then thankfully Arthemi puts some units in the water, and this is a full health tank. I should not be attacking. This needs to retreat, which I do, and I just need to heal my units, right? Because I do have a 10,000 advantage. I put my unhealthy tanks on the cities just to let them heal. and we rebuild our front lines. I'll speed this up a little bit because there's not much going on here. Cycle. I mean, Arthemi has a lot of full health units on cities, which means they're not healing. So yeah, I notice his funds going up really high, so I kind of start to get scared, and I want to build, and I'm wondering whether I build tanks or not. But I think later on I noticed that it only goes down by 200, so I'm not as scared. I mean, I build my first light, but he's not building anything, which kind of scares me. I don't. What I do is I'm trying to do ship eco because he's trying to boat here. I basically just do ship eco because I'm just worried he's going to be building tanks. So I'm to counter that, I'm going to have to be building tanks. In the long run, blue should win in this position as long as they cycle well. Um, so I basically leave my full health unit here. I'm prioritizing funds over healing, but as oh, he does build a tank. I guess I miscounted. So notice we're going tank on tank. I have a slight lead against him. I'm healing slightly more than him. But basically with these two funds, these two tank ship eco here, I'm just going to be building a tank in the back line and I'm just going to push him. I just don't want to give him too much time. Um, so I'm just going to try and kill as many units as possible. And we're just going to have a cycle battle. So yeah, interesting tank positions. I'm gonna kill at least one light. I mean, there's a possibility of my light unit getting encircled, but he doesn't find it. I do find two encirclements, which I'm really happy with. That'll just improve my disadvantage, positional disadvantage. So that's two light units down. I'm trying to find this encirclement. This is not guaranteed actually. I almost get myself encircled. I put him in the water. Oh yeah, then that's not getting unencircled. And he encircles himself a third unit, which I'm pretty happy with. I'm willing to trade a fully healthy unit for a dead unit. This unit dies in the water, so it's not. It doesn't pay off, but the possibility is nice. I almost get myself encircled a third time just because these are too wide. I mean, I don't think you could squeeze in the gap, but I almost get encircled. And I'm basically just killing light units. I need to finish it off. I'm about to lose a tank though, so it is kind of a little costly. I do find a two tank encirclement, which I'm really happy with, but this tank is really close to death. So it's hard to say. I do lose a light unit, so we're kind of roughly equal, just in terms of troop count. I just need to get my troops back into position again. I think that's a tank built from earlier, and I start building lights. I just need to make sure he's not building tanks and he's just not healing. He does put a lot of his units in the water, which is really nice for me because then I can basically just kill off those light units. Those units are considered dead if you give me enough time. I'm trying to find this encirclement, but it just won't materialize, and I get myself encircled. I even create a ship tank, but I think I do get one light unit out of it. He starts attacking my city, which is very scary. If I don't find a way to encircle these units, that city is going to be lost. I do encircle a tank, which I'm really happy with here. That'll push my troop count. So I'm now up 40,000, but I'm losing a lot of units in exchange. So that's one tank gone. I need to hold out this city. If I lose this city, then I'm dead. But he's about to lose the light unit, and so yeah, I could effectively push properly. And I keep that light unit safe, and I swap it with a full health unit. He's trying to find something in the back here. I do lose a full health light unit, but I'm up 50,000, so I just need to push this advantage here. His units are not as healthy, and I just need to kill off as many units as I can. I do find a tank. I almost get myself encircled, but that tank is definitely worthwhile. And then I just find some more light unit encirclements. He doesn't unencircle himself, but I'm able to kill a lot of his light units, and I'm just ahead. I have double his troop count pretty much at this point, effectively. He has this tank on a city. He has two tanks on a city from the beginning of the game that he built. I'm starting to effectively just build complete light units. I pull off my entire flank here because I just know he doesn't have the troop count for it. If there's any sort of invasion, I could just push south. So I'm just going to expand my lead against this former, or this, the first champion, I guess. Find some encirclements, and that's pretty much the game. There's nothing more to be done. I have a complete unit count. I need to heal these tanks. But aside from that, keep my units alive and just push in the south. And this game's pretty much over. Yeah, so just more killing light units, fighting some more encirclements. I just need to make sure to keep my units healthy and alive and healing. And yeah, a little bit of an overextension with that light unit. I think I do get it killed. No, I don't. So I kill off a light unit, so I'm pretty happy. Hopefully I can even kill off a tank, find an encirclement, and I'm just going to slowly expand this lead. Very costly though. I almost get a couple lights encircled as well. This tank is still not dead. Once I take the city, there's nothing more to be done. There's an encirclement here, slowly killing off his units one by one. I threaten the capital. He just doesn't have the unit count anymore at this rate because I have five times his army size, and that that multiplier is only going to increase as his troop count decreases. Push units into the water. I'm basically just threatening his capital. I ignore everything else. I didn't mean to make sure I don't lose my capital. It's a little bit scary. But even with his troop count, I think even if I lose my capital, it'd be very easy for me to retake. I'm just building lights at this point, killing off units and going for his capital here. Yeah, I'm just basically killing his whatever unit I can see. I'm playing very steadily here because I just don't want to lose. And then yeah, once I take his capital, there's not much more to be done. Put a tank on the city and call it a day. I'm going yeah. Oh, I pieced him out. Oh, I didn't even beat him. Oh, dang. Okay, so the champion is still the champion. Very nice. That's funny actually. So yeah, that's some of my matches against War of Dot champions.